Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Star Wars Out in the Dark campaign. My name is Will. I'll be your storyteller this evening. And last we left off, because it has been some time. After 3 weeks of hyperspace travel, the group was making their way around the spiral of the Midrim to go towards Naboo. However, a debris field caught them off guard and pulled them out of the hyperspace tunnel, where they were introduced to the Vantu and its captain, um, a very colorful character named Yakun Rinthal. After a miscommunication, they were attacked, quote unquote, by the Vantu, and then they were taken, or they were attempted to be taken somewhere. But Edie, in his infinite wisdom, managed to push the Vantu out of hyperspace prematurely and force them into a system that was slowly spiraling into a black hole. There was a moment where Edie remembered some things about the rumors leading back to the Freedom Night Uprising and the Golden Age of the Sith. But before anything terrible happened, a leisure cruise ship called the Empty Promise popped out of hyperspace and managed to save the two ships with its tractor beam. The Zotsek was taken and brought into Cargo Port 9, where the crew was very eager to hide Drox Shakti. And after hiding him in the Sith Beacon, they made preparations to meet their benefactor for having saved them. And this is when they met Vingo Vaxti, who turns out to be Dr. Shakti and Drox's brother, Ingo. He explains about how he has a persona aboard the ship and how he works for the criminal organization called the Void Star, which is not the first time that this group has heard the name. And after an interesting exchange of ideas, Ingo explains to them that he has a job for them, which Dr. Shakti quickly shoots down. And then Flid somehow channels the opposite side of himself and starts to belittle this crime syndicate boss and starts to make accusations about how he would never be the type to get his own hands dirty, and how he wouldn't have the backbone to kind of shoot anyone. To which Ingo simply reached out, grabbed one of his troopers' blasters, and then shot his own sister in front of Flid. But while all of this was happening, Edie was calmly on the ship dealing with Drox and Akilah, and had been accosted by some of the troopers and had a restraining bolt placed on him. Uh, but we're gonna pick up right where we left off, as someone had sent the code word that the kitchen might be on fire. Uh, so we'll pick up on a quieter corner of the ship as all of this is unraveling. One person has no idea of the trouble that is just going to landslide into them, and that's Silas. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Silas is in his room, just trying to recuperate. Um, there has been a couple of hyperspace tunnels that he has seen. Um, there was the jostling of the ship when the Vantu kind of took them, and nobody has come by to tell you anything.
Sounds about right.
And after you feel the ship land and you hear the very familiar tones, the very familiar sounds of magnetic clamps latching onto the landing gear, you hear a soft knock at your door.
Come in.
The door slides open, and the little form of Akilah, just white skinned, like sheet white, like paper white skin, this very glistening, very long, kind of greenish blue hair that just cascades down her shoulders, and these piercing, very kind of burnt honey eyes that are filled with wonder and excitement, uh, kinds of peeks in through the doorframe, and she waves her hand. Mr. Winchester?
Yes, dear. Come on in.
Hi, hi.
Well, really quick
Yep.
before we do this, with the time that's passed, where am I in the scope of injury at this point?
At this point, you are fully healed, and you are resting for show, I think.
Okay.
Like, you can do whatever you need to do, um, but you also know that there's a bad feeling that's been lingering on the ship. Uh, and the only light that seems to be kind of pulsating out is from this little girl.
I kind of get up from the bed. I'm like, come on in. Come on in.
He steps in. He's like, Mr. Winchester, my daddy says that the your friend the captain is very angry at what happened. Um, it looks like pirates tried to take our ship, but
Um, and I kind of like get up. I get up in a surprising fashion of speed where
mm,
somebody who was I was Grandpa Joe and Willy
yeah,
Wonka in the Chocolate Factory when he found out that the golden ticket
yeah,
happened and he stopped being a terrible grandfather. So I kind of spring up and I start like looking for my weapons, like, but like I'm looking at her to not like warn her, like not like drive her, like scare her,
yeah,
but I'm just like, you don't say,
yeah,
child.
yeah. Mr. Oric opened fire from the turret. I don't know if you could hear it. It was loud.
I think I might have missed that, and I'm just like looking, like I'm lifting stuff up, like,
Yeah.
uh, do you know where my weapons are?
You see her hold out her hand, and as she does, you feel this pulse kind of wash over you. Um, Edie feels it too, but it's during the chat with Bingo. Uh, so your attention is pushed elsewhere. You can also feel that it is Akilah, so you're not too worried about it.
And I at this point I didn't know that she could do this, right?
You did not.
So I'm just taken aback, and I'm like,
You
hmm.
see you see the dresser kind of shift forward by itself, and hanging behind it, you can see the guns in their holsters, just kind of hanging off of a hook.
Well, aren't you a special little girl? And I walk over and I kind of grab them,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what level of clothes I'm in right now, but I kind of just I don't even like necessarily grab like the full ensemble. It's
Yeah,
just kind of like, when Mal gets out, like just with like the undershirt and
yeah,
the slacks,
yep.
and I just put the gun belt around, like, um Now you said the pirates were taken care of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a we are in a big ship, the biggest I've ever seen. And she goes over uh, out the door and kind of points up to the communal area viewport. And she's like, you can
Okay,
see the hangar bay. It's huge.
I kind of look.
You are inside a hangar bay for sure,
Huh.
and you can see that with normal hangar bays and ships this size, you'd probably be able to see like enough of a height from the viewport, maybe fit another ship of your size. This looks like it could fit two or three of them. Like this
Jesus.
is a
Okay.
big cargo port.
Okay. Um. So, is this? Are we? Is this not the pirates?
No, no, this is a cruise ship. And she kind of leans in close to you. She's like, my uncle owns this.
Uh. Wait, not the uncle that's here and on our ship. He owns this?
No, not my daddy, my uncle.
Oh, your uncle owns. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm. Um,
I
I
remember it
didn't.
from when I first saw it a few years ago when we moved to what was our home.
Is your uncle a nice man?
He was to me. He gave me ice cream.
Hmm. I think Flid's got some ice cream hidden in the kitchen somewhere.
Oh, I know. We were almost finished with it.
He ain't gonna like that. And I smirk and I go, listen. And I kind of come down to her level. Like I kneel in front of her. I'm like, I can tell that you're special. Don't let anybody tell you what you should be. You you can make that decision yourself, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
And I kind of look at her and I don't do I I, I want to emphasize that I'm not doing this in any kind of weird or maybe thought of it as a weird way, but I kind of like have a moment where I see my sister
Hmm.
at her age and I kind of get lost in it for a second.
Yeah, she's a little older. When Nella was taken, she was maybe 5. Akila's easily almost 10.
Well, I have that moment,
Hmm.
like in the movie where it's like
Yeah,
it shifts and I kind of like see the
yeah.
image
Oh yeah,
of
yeah,
her
yeah.
and then goes back. And I tell her, where's the rest of the crew?
Mr. Oric is still in the turret. He says that's where he feels most comfortable. Um, Mr. Flid is downstairs uh with my aunt and Edie. They took Edie with them.
Okay.
Mr. Jix is in the other room. Um, and so is Mr. Illis. They're helping with Hattie and Krilla. Miss Hattie, Miss Krilla. I apologize.
I'm gonna go there. And I tell her, why don't you come with me? Let's head over there.
Okay.
And I like put my arm on her back and kind of like, come on.
Yeah. And you do go the next room. And Jix kind of stands up and comes over to you. Silas as well. This is good.
I'm like, yes, yes, Drix. And I kind of like walk in a little bit and I put my hand on his shoulder and do like the tap. I'm like, but what what the hell's going on? I go, sorry. And I look down at
Yeah.
her when I say hell.
Yeah. Illis kind of looks over and he stands up. We had some altercations with what seemed to be scavengers. We dropped out of hyperspace near the site of some big combat. It looked like there was a Republic Venator class that looked to have been destroyed in some kind of assault, perhaps. There were pieces of a Federation cruiser, but it looked like perhaps the Venator was taken by surprise because it was mostly Republic pieces floating around, cruisers and starfighters as well. Um, I don't remember the name of the cruiser, but I believe it should be in the records. Radio can easily bring that up for you if you'd like. Um,
I'm 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 just a little concerned as to why we are on a cruise ship as opposed to Naboo.
when the scavengers had taken us into custody, they took off into hyperspace. But apparently, something happened and knocked them out of hyperspace, and we started to drift towards a black hole. The leisure cruise capital ship that came out of hyperspace seems to have saved both of us from falling into the thralls of the black hole. Um, but I was not present when the discussion was had. I only know that this large ship and that we have been taken into their cargo hold. I believe it's called the Empty Promise.
Does that ring any bells to me?
Let's have you make the first roll of the night, my friend.
Uh-oh. And if
Uh,
it's a knowledge, it's my worst die pool.
it
Yeah.
is gonna be your knowledge,
All
uh,
right.
and you're gonna get to roll a streetwise.
Okay, so it's not my worst.
Uh, what were the Stars of Liberty again? Because you have a
You
specialty
that
on them.
Yeah, that was another organization. That was like another criminal organization. I'm trying to remember what the that was. Oh, because I think wasn't that the criminal organization that the slaver that I killed in my preview thing was part of?
Yeah. Okay. You could roll either Streetwise or Stars of Liberty.
I will choose Stars of Liberty because that's 3 dice instead of 2 dice.
Sure, that's a good call.
That's a 7.
I'm showing 11.
Oh, really? Wait, did it go the wrong way? Oh, it went the wrong way. Sorry.
Uh,
Okay, 11.
11's good. 11's a good number. Double digits is a good. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
You remember an altercation a few years ago over a, a large ship called the Empty Promise. It was one of the flagships that these slavers and kind of traffickers had used to kind of have a cover uh, for all of their black ops kind of black market dealings, but it was stolen. It was hijacked by a group of pirates, and nobody has claimed ownership of the Empty Promise openly. It still cruises around. It still does have the uh, the travel kind of cover. People can buy tickets and do the 1, 2, or 3 star system tour. But whispers say that it is still kind of doing what it does, and it does kind of carry illicit goods.
Okay. And because it's Dr. Shakti's brother that's on the ship is Drox, right?
Rocks.
Okay, he's not in the room.
No.
Okay. Um. So I go interesting. I think not to alarm you, but and I look down at um I look down at the girls. I look because I know everybody's in the room. And I'm just like, I think we still ended up getting captured by pirates. The
Jix
ship's got a
shakes.
reputation.
Yeah, Jix shakes his head. It is pleasure cruise. Does not look like
Sure,
pirates.
that's that's one way to cover up illicit activities. Do me a favor, you two, grab grab a couple firearms from the wall and post up here with the girls just to be
Illis
safe.
Illis nods. I will get these firearms then.
And I look at and I go, you might want to bring a couple more. And I point because I've seen the girls in action. So I'm like they can hold their own. Um, and I leave the room. I just kind of nod to them all, and I leave the room. And I go to my comms to try to see if I have even my comms.
You don't.
Like, okay,
You don't have your comm on.
shit.
And you see that you're being followed by Akilah.
Gila, I need you to go back to your father. Actually, I'm gonna go talk to your father, but I need you to come back with me.
Okay. He's over here. He's in the engine room. He kind of starts to run towards the engines.
Okay, that's is that weird to me that he's in the engine room?
No, you've heard that he's helped Ike, that he's helped Flid with getting the ship up and running.
Okay, so I'll make my way. I'm not gonna run,
Yeah.
but I'll make my way over there.
Yeah. And as you get over there, you see that Akilah is kind of helping him clean up some of the tools. He's like wiping his hands down. I heard you were looking for me.
Yes, um, she mentioned that this was her uncle's ship that we're in right now.
Yeah, yeah, the it was you see him visibly kind of trying to figure out how to say what he wants to say. And he looks down, he's like, Akilah, could you tell your mom that I'm kind of hungry for one of her sandwiches? She's like, yeah, yeah, of course. And she goes running off with some of the tools. And once she's out of earshot, he looks up at you. I uh I may have called him before we left until 6 as a desperate attempt to get some help. I didn't think he'd respond so quickly. Uh,
I kind of take a little bit of a step closer, and I do that kind of thing where I step and I just kind of I don't grip or do anything, but I just kind of rub my hand over the handle of the gun and on my waist,
mhm.
and I'm just like, I know about this ship. I know what this ship is. Should we be concerned with what he's gonna do?
I I would be. I was not prepared for him to respond so quickly. Like I said, I thought we would have some time, some kind of something of trade to give him on Naboo. But here's we got nothing. And the way he works, he might be looking to looking to extort crew if he gets his way. It is at this point that you see Edie come up behind you. Because the plan is to hide Drox.
Oh, we haven't done the plan yet?
Oh, we've just come up from
In
the
the
initial meeting. They have Flid and Dr. Shakti have just left with Ingo.
Wasn't he hiding inside the...
remember, this is a
Oh.
little bit. This is,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was hiding that whole time.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you
Yeah.
you haven't met with Ingo yet.
okay.
Okay.
This is you trying to get him to hide him.
Hello? Are you ready to activate our plan?
And yeah, you've shut down the sensors.
Oh, I will shut down the sensors, all right.
Oh, hi, Edie.
Hello. I'm glad to see you're up.
I'm I'm not glad to see that I'm in a pirate ship, but here we are.
Oh, wait, hold on. Now I have new information. Hold on, there's new information happening here that
Yep.
wasn't present.
Yep.
This flashback is really messing me up. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah. But you see Drox kind of roll his wheelchair around the two of you,
What?
past you. He's just like, should I make my way downstairs or will we?
Yes, to the cargo bay.
All right. And you see him wheel himself over
Well,
to the
as he
elevator.
rolls out, I go. Well, as he rolls out, I go. I have no ill will towards you, but if harm does come to any of my crew members, you will be held solely responsible.
We're on a pleasure cruise. I think we will be fine.
I kind of, because I do this, like when I looked around Edie to tell him that, and I just kind of tilt my head forward and I go, you, for a Jedi, whatever you are, you are hard as a rock, brain-wise. And I smirk.
But he kind of
Yeah,
leans over so he can look over at you from behind Edie. And he's just like, I don't, given who's going to interact with Ingo, I don't see him doing anything stupid unless he's provoked.
Oh, okay.
I hate you for putting that in there.
This is great. This is a really good flashback. This is a really good flashback.
I love how you put that in there.
Yeah, and then you just see Drox just go down the elevator that he could be hidden in the
and
sixth beacon.
And I go to Edie. I'm like, I've heard of this ship before. As I mentioned to you, I kind of look around and like there's nobody in there.
No, you're in the
So
engine room
I
by
switch
yourself.
to my regular voice to you, and I go, you know the circles I've run in the past.
Yeah, I'm aware. Yes.
The Eastern Promises, or the Empty Promises, is a ship that it's known to have been taken over by pirates and it's no longer officially registered or claimed by anyone, and it's a known fact that it's a front, this luxury cruise gimmick for illicit activities. And I look around, I'm like, appear to be guests on the ship. Obviously, y'all have, and sorry, I switched over to Silas again, but obviously, you guys have already started some kind of plan. So I'm not going to interrupt or throw in my 2 cents now when it's already seems to be rolling, no pun intended. And
What is the pun?
because wheelchair rolling.
It is not nice to make fun of another person's disabilities, Silas. You know that.
I know I hold my tongue on a daily basis with you. Um,
Walks right into that one.
Excuse me.
and I just walk past him and I start going outside. And
I'm gonna.
I go back into the room now, Will. I go into my room and I gear up. Like I get my shit together. Like
Okay.
I'm like, like I do not like what's happening here.
Yeah.
I am going to feel I'm gonna be in my uniform. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
As Edie goes back downstairs on the stairway, uh, circling the elevator, you see that Illis is making his way upstairs with a bunch of rifles and different blasters.
Is everything okay?
Yes, yes. It's just that your friend Silas has told us that we might need to arm up in case trouble brews.
It may be wise. I don't see any difficulties really coming our way if everything goes according to plan. But a few weapons should not be bad.
It never does.
Trying to hold on to the hope that I had before this new conversation with Silas appeared. But it's like,
Uh,
no, with this information, it's like, yeah, get all the weapons up there. We're gonna murder everyone on the ship.
yeah,
Yes.
yep. Uh, yeah, you go downstairs, you go through the whole introduction of Vingo Vaxti all over again.
My sweet rigmarole.
Yep. You see the two kind of guards that are posted up at the top of the ramp, the two at the bottom. And after a while, the two at the top replace the two at the bottom, and that's when you have your conversation uh, with Drox. Once the
A
guards are
nice
kind
little
of
conversation.
once the guards have made their way off of the ship.
This is where we find out Xylus is part of a pair of triplets.
Yep.
And that's all I got
Yeah.
on my notes.
Yeah. But as he kind of puts himself back in his wheelchair with your help, excuse me, and you reseal the Sith beacon, he starts to make his way over to the elevator. And he looks back at you. Excuse me. Edie, you're not like any of the droids that I've ever worked on. What happened to you? If you don't mind me asking.
I was never a droid to begin with.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
So are you like a cyborg? Are you just organs and jars kind of sitting in the chassis of this thing?
Somewhat. I am just Edie. I am just Edie.
You ever thought about the good you could do with showing some doctors what you've done yourself? Could be a boon to others.
Open up the chest plate. It's like that would be nice
His jaw
if
drops.
what I was helpful to those.
Just kind of his eyes widen.
I close it back up.
You're a shard.
You're aware.
Heard rumors, but
We don't frequently get off planet.
yeah, yeah. I had seen a small cluster once that was being observed scientifically. I don't think I can't speak. but I don't think that shard was a good place. Not like you. You seem to be even keeled for the most part. You have been mentioning murder a lot more recently than before.
It gets us out of situations.
Yeah, I guess it does.
However, it is important to know that uh, not all of them are like me, uh, but they all want to know what is going to be best for everyone, if that makes sense. It's why I opted to join the academy. They offered knowledge, and I relished in that. It would be nice to get back to Coruscant one day,
He,
perhaps when all of this is done.
he looks up at you. You ever miss it? The home cluster. I mean, not even an emotion that you understand.
Do you miss your mother?
Yeah.
Now,
do.
imagine you were never separated from your mother's womb, and she was never separated from her mother's womb, and so on and so forth. And
I'm gonna
you were
stop you.
never
I'm gonna stop you there, Edie, because you are putting a nightmare creature into my mind right now. Yeah. I can sense what you're trying to say. I do. I just think I think you don't know enough of humanoid physiology to kind of get the point across correctly. But I know I know what you're trying to say. I get it.
like a human womb creature.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Just like a human centipede or something like that.
Yes. Yes, almost exactly.
Yeah. All right. Uh, this was a good talk up until the nightmare creature popped up. I'm gonna go
I think
upstairs.
I think it was a good talk overall. I think there is now a new story to tell Akilah.
Yeah, I think you let me tell it. I think I'll navigate.
I would like to be present for it.
All right then.
It will be fun.
Cool. And he takes the elevator up to the next floor. Are you gonna stick around in the cargo bay?
Well, I gotta get hit with a restraining bolt, don't I? Or
Yeah.
are we gonna wreck on that?
Oh, you will get hit with the restraining bolt at one
No,
point.
you're gonna get hit with that.
I mean, I'll chill then. Yeah,
Yep.
do what I was doing before, which was keeping the sensors at bay.
Yeah. Uh, I think now though you actually have a good reason to kind of stay with your thoughts, given the
Yeah.
conversation you just had. Um, but upstairs, Silas is with the girls, and Illis has kind of handed off the weapons to people. You're in your full gunslinger regalia, and Akilah reaches out and grabs a blaster pistol. Like, can I be a gunslinger too?
I like go up there. I'm like, with some practice, yes, you can definitely become a gunslinger. But this is a little dangerous for you at the moment. I
Oric,
promise you, when we get to the planet, I can show you. I can show you. Start teaching you how to shoot.
Oric walks in at this point, grabs one of the guns, twirls it, spins it into his sheath. I think she could handle a gun if she wants to. I wasn't much older than her when I started shooting.
I look at her and I go, "Do you know which end you never looked down?"
She goes, "The one where the energy comes out of?"
All right, then you can shoot the gun. Like you hold on to that. All right, but until unless somebody tells you to shoot it or you feel like you're in absolute danger, don't be shooting this around all over the place inside, okay?
Like, okay.
And I look at him like this is on you. um and I tell them, all right, y'all stay in here and close the door. I'm gonna try to see if I can find out exactly what the heck is going on downstairs and where the rest of the crew's at.
Oric,
Y'all need anything else?
Oric steps up and he's like, "I'll take care of them. They're with a gunslinger now."
I nod at him and I go, I can tell they're in good hands. And I turn around and I start walking out.
Uh, the communal area is empty. Akilah, her mother, the rest of the passengers are in Hattie and Krilla's room. The elevator dings open, and you see Drox roll out. Looks up at you. Uh, Seems like Silas and Flid went off to talk to my brother. Uh, so far, so good, I think.
Let's hope. Let's absolutely hope.
The little
And
bit that I could see out from where they hid me, he looked to be dressed in his white suit, so I think he was in full on business mode. Um, he might be trying to get them to do some kind of job for him. It's the best case scenario, I think.
can I be frank with you and ask you a question?
Cool. It
Is he
can't be any weirder than the conversation I just had with Weed Edie.
of that? I have no doubt. Um, is he part of the Stars of Liberty?
No, no, my brother has bigger sights than just what they do. Um, you know, he kind of, you see him arguing with himself mentally whether or not to tell you, and then he kind of slams his fist down on his leg on his chair, and he's just like, "My brother is part of a different organization called themselves the Void Star. He he joined them when he tried to get off world back in Zelosia. Um, excuse me. He pulls you aside, and you see him become really quiet. I I was there when he left. I was there when he made the deal to sell our family farm passage off world. I was also there. Got our parents. the other. The one trump card I got to play the last time I called in a favor for him.
You're playing a very dangerous game with this. This is men like that. The Flid and Dr. Shakti, they don't know who they're dealing with, do they?
He is not a terrible person as long as you don't agitate him.
I beg to differ. Killed his parents. He killed your parents.
He did.
Nice people don't do that.
They don't. But like I said, he is a good person until he's agitated. He means well when he is trying to do good according to his compass, as it were.
Now, you said that he previously helped you, and you called in a favor with the trump card of the information. You know that the rest of your family doesn't.
Yeah.
What exactly were you planning on using this time around? Because you wouldn't have called him if you didn't have something that he may have wanted,
Right.
given his track record.
Right. I was prepared to give up the location of all our family members.
Is he actively trying to find them?
He's been looking for Silas's brothers, the 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 other two that form the triplets, Trill and Zev. Um, I made contact with Zev about a year ago. It turns out that whatever happened to Silas happened to the two of them. They freaked out. They've been trying to come to terms with whatever darkness they shared among the three of them. Silas reached out. Zev reached out, and we've been talking for a bit now. Because all he needed was just an anchor, someone to keep him grounded, someone to kind of keep his compass attuned to. He's doing better now. Trill's in bad shape. He's lost complete awareness of him. Doesn't know where he is. So I was prepared to trade Dev's location and go exchange to try to find Trill, get him the help he needs.
I understand what the places that you will go for family. I know that more than anyone.
His family is a little screwed up more than the rest, but it's On. Gotta do right by them.
So, Will, at this point,
Hmm?
after hearing that, I do this
Yep.
and I activate the calm thing that I have with my sister.
Sure. And after a moment, you hear her voice in your ear. This is a welcome surprise. Thought it'd be much longer before you popped up.
So I just want to get this clear. You're telling me that we are now stuck on this ship, the Empty Promises, with your unhinged brother who is now and who has trapped us in their cargo hold, and we don't know which personality we're going to get based on his current mood, whether he's in a good mood or a bad mood. That's what you're telling me right now. That my crew is in danger and being held now by these pirates.
Like like I said, he should not be any trouble as long as nobody agitates him.
Okay. Well,
You hear your
I
sister's
don't know.
voice. I am on my way.
I understand. And I'm looking at him and I say I understand
Mm-hmm.
to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I don't know where you need to be at this point. I know that things are already in motion, so by all means don't let me keep you waiting.
He
I go,
nods.
oh, okay.
He starts to make his way over to the room.
I go to look for radio.
Okay. He is actively trying not to go into the cockpit. So he is just rolling around, humming to himself.
And I just go, there he is.
He stops and you see the dome kind of turn towards you. Boop,
How you doing, radio?
boop, boop, beep, boop, 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 beep, 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 boop, 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 boop.
Does that sound? Can I try to make out if that sounds sad, upset, or happy?
Yeah, let's have you make a languages roll.
Oh God, here we go.
See if you can pick up
A 4.
what he's putting down.
Yeah,
Man,
I
the
got that's out of 6 possible from my die,
um,
from my one die.
you are sure that he has beeped and booped at you
Got it.
like he has never done that before.
Like never before. All right. Radio. Have you heard anything? And I kind of go, I'm not understand. Give me one beep for boop for yes, and one beep for or two. One boop for yes, two boops for no. Have you had any communication with Flid, Captain Flid, or Dr. Shakti?
Beep,
Are they? Where are they currently? Oh wait, I can't ask yes or no questions.
beep, beep,
Um, are they in danger?
beep, beep.
So they're not in danger.
He spins in place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because one beep was yes, two beeps was no.
Yep.
Okay. Well, do you happen to know where they put my comms? Because I cannot find it for the life of me.
You see he kind of spins his dome around back and forth. Uh, and then he kind of rolls over to just outside the cockpit.
Okay, I roll. I go over with him
And he beeps.
in the cockpit.
Beep.
All right. Radio. I kind of like say this in a lower voice. We may be in a precarious situation here, so I may need you to be at the ready to get the ship moving where we need to make a immediate exit.
He starts to spin in place, beeping and booping angrily, just kind of shaking.
Okay, so when he does that, I go, "Oh, my apologies. Please."
He stops, and after a moment, there's just like this long beep of a sigh, and he rolls into the cockpit.
Customer relations.
It is.
I follow behind him.
It is at this point that you see in the cockpit, now that you're in there, a small squadron of maybe 12 troopers running towards your ship. And you hear over the comms, Edie, the kitchen might be on fire. Kitchen's going to be on fire.
Is it on fire or is it not on fire? It can only be one or the other.
No, it's going to be on fire.
I press the comms and I go, I just came from the kitchen. There's no fire.
Oh no.
Yep. This is exactly what I expected. And
there are a bunch of troopers, and I go, but there's a lot of guards coming this way.
And as Edie hears that, he sees the 8 troopers kind of go rushing up, circle him. One of them asks you to get down, and so you feel the restraining bolt get put on your back. A couple of them stay down there, and that's when Silas hears the heavy footfalls of armored feet kind of coming up from downstairs.
Okay, I am going to radio. Is radio like Chopper that he can like hold stuff?
He's never shown you that he has a hand. He has a knife that comes out.
Okay,
that's all that matters.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to figure out. I want to look and see if I see a spot where I could put how many. Okay, so first of all, can I try to figure out how many footsteps I hear of how many guards are coming?
Sure, make a perception check.
Oh, of course I get a freaking
10 with a 1 on the wild die.
Yeah.
You think there's like 12 of them. And as you're kind of trying to figure out how to hold your ground in the cockpit, you look out and you can see an elevator in the distance open. You see Dr. Shakti, Flid, somebody that kind of has the same alien complexion that Dr. Shakti and Akilah have, and Drox. A couple of troopers. And then you just see the guy calmly reach over, grab one of the blasters out of the guy's holster, and just shoot Dr. Shakti.
Okay. I'm drawing my gun, first of all, with one hand. I'm going to the speakers for the ship. And inside the ship, okay, let me ask this before I do it. Am I able to isolate the rooms that the speaker goes through?
Sure.
Like, can I pick certain rooms?
Yeah, you're going to make a communications roll.
All right. Oh, man. All these wonderful... Oh, it's not too bad. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
I'm going to do a communication that only where those armored feet can hear. And I'm going to say, quick, everybody, out through the I guess I'll say the cargo hold.
Okay.
Or no, because you were in the cargo hold. So I'll say, quick, out through the I'm trying to think because I can't picture the ship. Like, what is there another exit to the ship that I could say, like, to try to lead them that way?
Yeah, there is the jettison tube.
Okay, I'll say, quick, everybody out through the jettison tube.
Okay.
Like we planned.
Make your communications roll. You can isolate the 9. Yeah. You're pretty sure you've got it isolated to just the open area where the ladder is, where the stairs is.
I'm gonna be So I can use a character point, right?
Yeah.
Just to be extra sure.
Sure. You can use up to 2 character points on any roll that isn't a soak roll.
You know what? This is kind of important because I don't want a bunch of people from. I'm gonna do 2 character points.
Ooh.
Getting fancy.
All right.
So I got a 10 on the 2 character points roll.
Oof. Nice. But yeah, easy enough. And you do hear it barely audible down the hallway from the cockpit. That you hear your voice kind of, all right, everybody to the jettison tubes like we planned. And some of the footsteps stop. You can hear them kind of slowly. Now, instead of being rushed, they're kind of being really careful.
But they don't sound like they're all going away.
No. And after a moment,
That
there is the sound of the feet stopping. And then you just hear one of the troopers, if you're sure, sir, right away. And then Edie, you hear them start to descend on the stairs now, like they're clearing the ship. Edie can barely see the footfalls and the shadows around him kind of moving away. You see.
I'm gonna start moving.
Yeah.
After I think that I can hear them leaving.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slowly open the door and follow behind them.
Okay. Edie barely has the angle to see some of the troopers just drop Dr. Shakti onto the cargo hold floor with a burn mark in her midsection and just the kind of blaster smoke still coming off of her wound. They drop Flid, kind of. You see that they've been really forcefully pushing him up the ramp into his ship. All of the troopers get off, and you see the landing ramp start to close.
Is Ingo there?
Yeah.
I
You
I would
also
like
hear. Go ahead.
I would like to try and grab Ingo with the force.
Okay. He's above you on the floor above you.
But like I have line of sight of him, or like I can feel him.
You can feel him.
Okay. I just want to pull him. Yeah. So this is alter?
Yes.
Okay. I will be using a force point.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll double your dice pool.
Yeah.
Are you giving in to the dark side temptation? Oh no, you already fell to the dark side, so you don't get that.
Yeah, I've fallen to the dark side.
Yeah.
I'm pulling him. I'm pulling him off. Whatever platform he is, I'm hoping he falls.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's 6 dice.
Yes. It's just that when you are in that phase in between falling to the dark side and being tempted by the dark side offers you extra dice to do things. But you already fell to the dark side, so it doesn't care.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm bad boy. What's up?
Yeah.
19.
19. You definitely hear.
To just pull him by the throat over my way.
Okay. You definitely hear the thud and the kind of scrambling, and you hear the scream from upstairs. The 2 screams, his wife and his daughter screaming. And as the ramp closes, you hear the familiar sound of the magnetic locks decoupling from the landing gear. And then you feel the ship lurch as it's suddenly pulled up by a tractor beam. And although you can't see it, Silas, as you're coming out and you're looking around the corners, making sure that nobody's in the ship, you hear the scream suddenly, the 2 screams, and you see Drox being pulled from his wheelchair onto the floor, and you see the familiar blue tunnel of hyperspace suddenly becoming larger. And you can feel the ship lurching as it's being pushed out of the cargo hold into the hyperspace tunnel. And there's a moment where, out of the viewport, you just see the hyperspace tunnel normally looks like it's all the swirling energy is going in one direction.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're being pushed out, and the leisure cruise is continuing its journey to wherever it's going, you see that it just starts to kind of tumble. The tunnel is going in every direction as the ship is spinning, and there's a moment where you can just see the blue wall just ripped apart, and your ship is jettisoned from the hyperspace tunnel. And it starts to spin. You can see stars swirling above you. There's planetoids in the distance that you can kind of make out. And then there's one that just starts to kind of become really prevalent in the big window above you. And although it is continually spinning in a very small arc, you know that your ship is flying towards it at incredible speeds.
I run back to the cockpit with radio, and I'm like, we need to figure out some kind of, and I'm talking as in Jairus's voice now. I'm just like, we need to figure out a way to get this. Like, there's no time for accents and nothing. I'm just like,
Yeah.
we need to figure this out. And as I'm doing that, I'm like, they jettisoned us, and we are in a hyperspace tunnel right now.
And you see radio, his little ocular cavity just shoot over in your direction, and his whole body leans backwards at like a 45-degree angle, like, what? And
I love him.
after a moment, he interfaces with the cockpit, and just as the ship is spinning into re-entry, and you can see the heat shields activating and the burning of the ozone as your ship is rocketing into this planet, it's little pockets of excuse me, of flora, almost in a beautiful hexagonal pattern, that are surrounded by just wastelands of arid desert or craggy rock. And radio just does everything he can to correct the ship, to bring it in, to get you upright. And after a moment, the ship does kind of tilt around, revolve, so that you're seeing the thing not on top of the cockpit window, but on the bottom, the actual.
And I'll help him. I'll help him while he's doing it, because it's space transport, right?
It is space transports, yeah.
And I have 3 points in space transport.
Right. Roll it. Let's see what happens.
I got a 12.
Okay. You see that between the two of you, there's a good moment where you correct the ship. You start to kick on the repulsor lift engines. You start to just throw all the engines at trying to avoid crashing, and you see him just overload himself, and he just shoots backwards out of the input port that he's been interfacing with. And you just see that he just has that R2 moment where he just beeps and boops after being shot by an ion cannon, and he just shuts down.
Mhm.
but the ship comes to a crashing drop, uh, almost like the helicopter in Black Widow. Just comes straight down and just bounces a couple times and ends up with its nose down maybe about 200 meters, 300 meters from one of these kind of pockets of flora. There's red lights in every parts of the ship. There's heavy damage to the undercarriage. The landing gear's destroyed. The engines seem to have taken some critical damage in the impact, but everything else is nominal.
Oh, good.
People,
Like everything's destroyed,
yeah.
but the refrigerator's fine.
Yeah, the screaming of the people has quieted down. Everybody's kind of, you can hear them asking if everybody's okay, just to kind of like give some shouts if anybody's hurt. You can hear Flid from downstairs. Dr. Shakti's hurt. I need some help.
My first date is not great. I'll radio to everybody. Is everybody all right? And they communicate. I'll go through the ship.
Yeah. People start to check in.
And any of you that have any type of medical ability, ask kindly that you please go down to the cargo bay to assist, as the good doctor has been injured.
If someone could get this restraining bolt off of me, I can help.
I'm coming down, and I'll start. And I'll put away my gun, and I put away the gun already because I was doing the ship. But I'll start walking down because I can't do anything to radio because I definitely don't know anything about droid repair.
No. Or radio. But you head over, you can see some of the people are kind of crowded around Drox. They're helping him to get up onto his wheelchair. And as you make your way down, you can see Dr. Shakti just kind of groaning about the pain. You can see that there is a blaster bolt. There's just a blaster burn in their midsection. You know enough, excuse me, from having killed people, that shot is not a kill shot.
So I'm gonna go help take off the restraining bolt.
Yep.
First.
Pops off easily enough.
And and then I'll go over there, and you said that I see that, and I'll be like, that's not the type of shot that you give somebody to kill. That's sending a message.
A wonderful message, then. I'm going to try and do first aid.
Yep.
And I kind of look at the doctor, and I just go, listen, it goes, I've been there. You'll be fine. You will be fine.
Didn't you die?
But I got better.
15 with a 1 on the wild die.
Just walk
Can
it
I
off.
assist?
Just walk it off. You'll be fine.
Yeah. You have no med kit to help out with, so all you're really doing is just kind of pushing on the sides of where their wound is and just being like, does this hurt? Is this painful?
Go get him. Does this hurt? Does this hurt? How about here? Does this hurt? What happens if I pour alcohol on here? Does it hurt?
Yeah. So you don't really get to help them heal. But you do notice that Silas is right. This is not a kill shot. This is even if it had been a bigger weapon, like the area that they were shot in is maybe 30% fatal. If it had gone clean through.
Lucky, you're going to live. Unlucky, we have made an enemy.
And Flit's just like, there's nothing lucky about it. He shot his own family. That man is
Then
crazy.
then now we know who we're dealing with.
What did you say to him?
Nothing.
So he just shot her for no reason whatsoever.
He was being pompous. He had posters of us from Bespin. He was threatening us.
Threatening us for what?
Can I see if he's telling the truth?
Ooh. Ooh. Make a perception roll.
15.
15. It feels like he's hiding something.
I kind of like shift my weight and I'm like, would you like to try that again?
He starts to kind of rub his hands. He looks down at them and sees that they're kind of dirty. Like, we can talk about this later. And he starts to make his way upstairs. You just hear him. Radio, where are we?
He can find it out himself. I just say that. Like I just like mumble that to myself as I look pissed. Like if Edie looks at me, I'm pissed.
You
And
look upset.
that's an understatement. I've killed men for less. And I go down and like you notice, Edie, that in the two interactions we've had, there's a tonal shift in Silas.
I'm sure I can feel it.
Yeah. There
I'm
is
sure I
a
can just
tonal,
feel it coming off of you. I'm like,
yeah,
let's go for a walk.
yes. There's a little bit of a shift in the happy go lucky Silas right now.
Silas, do you want to come outside with me?
Why don't we take care of the wounded person and at least get her in a bed first?
They'll be fine.
Edie,
Yes.
I think we should at least get her. You know, it's not her fault that the incompetence of the captain led to her getting shot. And I pick her up.
All right. Yeah, and Illis and Jix were already on their way downstairs to help. But they tell you that they've prepped their room for them coming back, and as you're led up to what is Dr. Shakti's room, you see Illis and Jix kind of like start to hover over them and start to do what they can to take care of them.
I look over at Edie and I go, "You want to take that walk now?"
Oh.
And
It's more for you, not for me. And I just start walking.
As you go downstairs and you try to open the landing ramp, it pushes against whatever hard rock you have crashed against to the point where it lifts the rear end of the ship up slightly. You have to bend over to get out of the ship, though. You're going to use the landing ramp. There's a hot, kind of sticky, swirling wind that comes in outside.
I think we can talk here.
All right. I just wanted to see what the damage is, but okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, let's go. Let's go do that.
Yes, because I don't know about you, but I feel like we want to get off of this planet.
There's a lot of things I want, and it goes back to Jairus again. No more Silas. Like you just hear me switch from doing the accent to just. There's a lot of things I want,
Like what?
like to make it somewhere and not have a new bounty on our heads
That would
because
be
of
nice. Let's see. We have the planet of Bespin. We have the Grand Republic. Uh, we have the Trade Federation. Whoever Ingo is.
space pirate.
Unless, wait, do I know if he died or not?
Oh,
No. All right. He
No, of
probably
course he didn't die. He's gonna come back more
yeah.
powerful than
He's
ever.
gonna come back with a cast.
Yeah. I tell you, I I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. This the it's the Republic has been just a pain in our side. It's Star Wars, and I can't say the A word. Pain in our side.
No. Oh, Dameron said ass.
Oh, that's right, he did. Okay,
Yeah.
if Poe can say it, I can say it.
there you go.
It's like they've been a pain in the ass. The Trade Federation's another pain in the ass. We're we're trying to get to Naboo to help these people. You know, the banker. I've died once and almost died a second time. I've and I stop for a second, and then I look up at you and I go, I've been mind controlled by some kind of evil creature. I knew what I was doing the whole time. I saw it.
Did he not tell you his name?
No, I don't believe he ever did, Will, right? I don't think he said his name to
You
me.
heard it.
I have his name.
You heard it when one of his little lackeys was resuscitated or resurrected in one of the other bodies. They did mention him by name.
Okay. I gotta look.
Let me scroll up.
Yeah, because I was at the start of the new season, right?
It was Zaybot.
Oh yeah, here it is. I don't see in the notes for that whole because I noted that whole thing. I don't see that I ever heard
Yeah, it is Darth
the thing.
Zavot.
Darth Zavot. Okay.
Yeah.
Darth. I was a puppet for Darth, a human. Well, not human, but I was a puppet for Darth Zavot.
Ooh. Funny story about him. The master of your sister is hunting him down. So, in turn, he was hunting you down, and then your sister was going after him, well, going after you. And that's how I found you, because we were hunting your sister who was hunting you.
So he's the one that shot at me from the starship.
Well, by order of operations, I would presume so.
You just see I don't know, Will, with the species if my knuckles would turn white,
Sure.
but I squeeze my hands so hard that my knuckles are turning white. And I just kind of look down and I go, I got some more information about who that idiot was that shot Dr. Shakti?
The brother.
Right. Because that's her brother and their brothers, so that would be sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not the type to resort to violence unless he's provoked.
It couldn't provoke someone. He's a very easygoing man.
I know that you're still kind of new to a lot of these things, Edie, but the stuff that man's been through, and I know already about the it's not wasn't his wife, it was a robot. I know
I'd
all
be
that, right?
surprised if you didn't know.
Yeah,
They would have told you.
I was gonna. Okay, the man thought he had lost his kids, then was told that they were alive. Thought he was reunited with his wife. Did God knows what with that thing. Let's be honest. And then finds out that it wasn't his wife, it was a robot of the Trade Federation.
I don't like what you're implicating, sir.
Well, how would you think somebody would feel after that happens? Do you think you'd be the same person?
Probably not. No.
There's a lot's happened. I think a lot of us aren't the same people we were before when we started this. But I'm tired.
We can agree on.
I'm tired of us continuously getting stuck in harm's way. And in certain situations, completely avoidable. And I looked down where Dr. Shakti was laying. That's why I got mad. Yeah, and I feel like there's so much that I need to do, and I feel like I'm not getting any more closer to it. The best thing that's come out of this whole thing was I saw my sister again. And then I realized that, Will, and I turned the thing off again.
Okay.
I turn it off and I go, and I don't like what she's become. Because of what she's become, it took away my chance, my opportunity, my duty as her brother to tell her what happened to our mother. Because of this gift, she figured it out on her own, and it was not the way that I wanted her to find out. They took that away from me. It took that away from me.
It is natural to be angry at these things, Silas. And I think it is only more natural to be able to experience this anger and understand what it truly means. What does it tell you at the end of the day when you think back on it before you sleep?
It doesn't let me sleep that well because what it wants me to do, I haven't been able to do yet.
And what is that?
I kind of just breathe like that and I just look down at my blaster. And then I go, things.
I would like to try and read like his surface level thoughts if that's possible.
Ooh. Well, well,
How would I do that?
well. Let's see. What force abilities do you have?
I have affect mind.
That's if you want to do the. These are not the droids you're looking for.
I figured. Um, would would life sense give me the vibe at least?
Uh, yeah, yeah. Life sense will tell you what kind of mental state he's in right now.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Yeah.
Ooh, 20.
Silas doesn't have any control. He does have sense one die though. Uh, so you can roll either your willpower or your perception to resist.
Let me see. Where willpower's under where?
Under knowledge,
Oh, so I'm probably gonna be rolling
perception.
I'm gonna roll my perception for sure.
Okay. 19.
No, 19.
Almost.
Yeah.
I beat that boy.
I'm gonna use a character point. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm also using a character point.
I'll use another one.
Me too.
So, you feel that familiar pulse wash over you. That kind of uh, feeling that you get as somebody has done a cannonball near you, and the lap of the water is kind of pushing against you, coming from off of Edie, and it's strong since he's so close to you. But you can definitely feel that they are using the force, and as you get that, what are the top thoughts for Silas during this whole discussion about his sister? Like what kind of, and not the thoughts exactly, but what are the emotions attached to those thoughts?
Rage.
Okay.
Not I don't want to say not sadness. Um
Melancholy?
well, like he feels like a sense of he doesn't have control, and there's frustration,
Yeah.
but it's like but it's a frustration that's also attached to like desperation,
Okay.
because it's like I have to I have to do this. I
That's what
need to do this.
Edie senses. There's just a storm of emotions inside of him.
Alice, what is this thing that you're so desperate for?
Justice.
Or who?
My mother, who's buried in the ground on my home planet.
And who killed your mother?
The man who just tried to kill me with a starship.
Didn't give me he didn't give me anything that would like page him to me, would it? Like I don't have like a communication line for him to like say like I'm accepting the terms or anything.
If he did, you left it with the dead body of Senator Grames's bodyguard.
Edie,
Yes.
I need you to teach me. I know you don't know everything, but you know something. I need you to show me what you know. You know I'm not the same.
Alice?
You can feel it like I can.
I would gladly teach you. But not by this New Republic's coda, and not by the one taught to me. I feel a new wave of thinking coming, Silas. One where it is not what is the good for those around that need to be served, but it's the one for the good overall. A path of pure justice by all standards. Would you be willing to help me figure that out with your new understanding of these abilities?
And I look him just dead in where his eyes would be. I just say absolutely. And I stick my hand out.
Open up my chassis.
Oh, how intimate. You see as Silas is reaching out to shake hands in whatever symbolic gesture Edie has created for you. There's what looks to be this tattered brown robe um, that kind of drops down from outside, and you see a spear that just impales it, and then a shape drops down, humanoid, thin, baked skin from just being on the sun, and it kind of bends down to look up from the slim hole that is leading out from the ship into the world beyond. Your word Jedi come from inside sheep. And as it pulls the spear tip up and out of the ground, you can see that it looks to be a kyber crystal. Maybe yellowish in tint, but you're not sure if that's just the sunlight hitting it and refracting inside of it. But he kind of shakes it in your direction. Who is Jedi here?
Truthfully speaking, neither of us, but we're trying to find one.
No Jedi here. No Jedi ever again.
What is your name, friend?
Ilik.
Lick. I am Edie. This is Silas. What is your
And
story?
I nod.
Ilik. Scout for tribe. Saw ship crash. Felt call of the force from within.
What? Why do you need a Jedi?
To kill it. Jedi are wrong. Jedi evil. Jedi did this to our world.
My friend, we are not Jedi. My friend Silas here has been hunted down by Jedi. Would it be possible for the both of us to speak to your tribe and learn more
You,
on what the Jedi have done to you?
you see him
Because we
pull out
Oh.
a small, very thin, cylindrical kind of shard of a crystal.
Mhm.
It almost looks like the same color as the spear tip, and he whacks it against it, and you feel it more than Silas does because it is just this reverberation, this kind of frequency that ekes out from the crystal that just kind of lashes out, and it's violent. It is a violent kind of ripple that just keeps revolving out of this thing in a steady interval. It For Silas, it's just kind of a little drone of a noise, but for Edie, it is painful. It is like being ripped from the cluster all over again, and you can see that there's a small, light, very thin yellow aura that kind of engulfs the two of you, and he puts the cylinder away as he kind of takes a step back and raises the spear aggressively. You have light. You both Jedi.
not all with the light are Jedi. That
I
is
am no
something we
Jedi.
have both come to understand.
There must never be Jedi on Othan again.
There
And as he says
should be
that,
no more Jedi.
you see the spear tip momentarily flash with a yellow light, and these streaks of lightning shoot out at it towards the two of you. And this is where we'll end tonight's episode. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. As always, if you are in chat live with us on Twitch, I am putting in some links for people that you should be following if you like what we're doing here. There are fantastic channels that do tabletop RPGs as well, like the McStabber Studios, where you can find me on Tuesday being a werewolf in their Werewolf the Apocalypse game. Um, you can check out Gloop Dog or Lasercat TV or Red Herring if you like more variety streamers. They play in a once a month Dungeons and Dragons game that you can see on the 21st, hopefully. Um, if you want to catch up on some of our videos, you can always go to our YouTube channel. And if you have Amazon Prime as part of the bundle, you also get a free subscription to any Twitch streamer that you like. So if you'd like what you're seeing here, if you like the stories that we're telling, you might consider using that. Or if you want to just subscribe, you can, as always. And because we always end here with health being a big thing, there is the talk of these. If you haven't, go get your vaccine. I just found out today that a good friend of mine just got infected with the Delta strain, even though he was vaccinated. So now he puts his wife, his child, and his unborn child, because she is 4 months pregnant, in danger because of the carelessness of others who did not want to get vaccinated. So please get your vaccines. Uh, as always, if you're watching live, there are some helplines that are going up in the chat right now. There are phone numbers that you can kind of use to reach out if you're finding it difficult to deal with what's going on in the world today. I know that mental health is a big thing here on the channel. We take it very seriously, and I like to be an advocate of it because I dealt with my own darkness during this whole year and a half of uh, garbage that we've dealt with. And I know that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my friends and family. And so if you feel like you need to reach out, please do. There are always avenues that you can check out. If you are a friend or family member of somebody that is usually a strong personality, please check in on them, because you never know what a simple hello or how are you can really change the trajectory of somebody's life. Um, there so much that you can do that takes so little. You'd be surprised if you are outside the United States. I'm putting up some a link that you can check out, um, and it'll help you find any of the resources in your area so that you can get the help that you need. And as always, I will see you either on Monday for our Vampire Chronicle Salem by Night in 1985, 1984, Salem, Oregon. Uh, if not, you can catch me as a werewolf, like I said, in McStabber Studios on Tuesday. And if not, we will see you on Friday for our next episode of Star Wars Out in the Dark. Until then, please take care of each other, be safe, and I'll see you when I see you.